Alright, we've got the CKEditor actually working in the XPage, but we need to start down this path to transfer the HTML content from the CKEditor into the back-end document for notes. And so what we did was we used sort of an intermediary field to do that. So the CKEditor actually jumps up. It's a DOM element. It's really not connected to anything. In order to get the content from the CKEditor stored into a notes document, what we did was we linked a multi-line edit box to the CKEditor field using the class names and style class and ID names as the link. And then we set up a function that will copy the content from the CKEditor into this other text field. Now this text field, this multi-line text field, is going to be essentially the field that actually stores its data onto the document. So let's take a look at that. We've got the multi-line edit box control right here. If you look at it, it's pretty straightforward. There's not much, nothing magical about it. I'm looking here. I actually scoped it or mapped it to a scoped value for right now, although we're not going to use this after this page. Then if I take a look at the style area, what I see here is the style class for this field is a field name. And then if I look at the computed field and I look at the value, you will see that the name of the object that gets generated is the same, a field name. So that's the key. So the name value of the CKEditor is the key to connect to the multi-line edit box, which has the same class. Now in this button I actually execute the function that does this copy mechanism. If you look in the onClick event in the client-side script, you will find a transfer all data function referred to. That's inside the custom scripts JavaScript file, which is the second function. There's only two of them. One is to actually prep the editors, and the other one is to do this copy method. There's some code in here that's commented out because we'll talk about that when we iPad this. But for right here, basically we're just making sure that we've got a CKEditor someplace on the page. We're walking through all of the instances of CKEditor, so if there's 1 or 2 or 5 or whatever, it will do this for all of them on the page. In addition to that, we find out, we get the instance of the current editor, which is going to read the name value. The name value is going to be that name value that gets generated from the computed field. We're going to read its data, and then we're going to go find the other object on the page that has the class or the style class value using that name value, and we're going to set its value to be X. So we're doing a video, so you can pause this or you can look at the code as much as you want, but in reality all that does, if I go over here into ye old browser, I've got the information here and I say this is some new text I just entered, and then I click this button. Of course I'm using the traditional spelling of this. We're going to click the little button, and all it does is copy whatever's in that rich text editor down into that other field. So if I go in there and I say delete some of this and I click the button, it's just going to keep copying it over. So that's step 2. Step 2 of the process is copy whatever's in the CKEditor into an associated field, and the association is put together by, in our case, using, or not even in our case, but in this particular case, using it to connect the style class of the multi-line edit box that has the same name or the same value as the name of the name attribute on the text area.